Greetings, everybody. I am Lobo, and welcome to Luna. This is episode 217 of my Minecraft survival series, and in the last episode, we finally got at least a little bit of our new storage system project up and running. And as you can see, I'm already putting this thing to good use, trying to put away what we can put away in this little area. Just trying to clean up Luna a little bit, you know, because I've missed my spring cleaning for 2 years in a row, and to be honest, things are starting to become a little bit of a mess here. I mean, that's most apparent in the areas where we've cleared out mountains in the past, where we cleared out our seas, because we have tons and tons of resources stored in tons and tons of chests, which will need to be put away eventually, but unfortunately, we don't really have a place to put all this stuff until we get the bulk storage for our storage system sorted out. We're not doing that today. What I think we can do today, though, is relocate these bee nests over here. Because remember, this is just their temporary home. They don't belong here. They don't fit in here. This is not what's going to be here. You know, we need to start clearing this area out, getting it ready for future builds, right? What on earth is that? That better not be what I think it is. I think it is what I think it is. Dang it, we got corruption here. Okay, well, that's not great. Yeah, last episode we cleared this area out, and I was searching for corruption. I didn't see any then, but yeah, it's pretty apparent that we have some now. Let me go ahead and let the guys over at Wolfen's lab know. Because we're going to have to deal with this before we can do what I was actually planning on doing today. What a bummer. Hey, Wolfred! Wolfred, where are you at? I know it's not your normal office hours. But I really need to find you. You know what? He's probably around here somewhere, right? He's probably around here somewhere. Let me go ahead and take a quick peek around and see if we can find him, because this is important. It isn't his normal office hours. I don't know where he goes during the day. Maybe what I'll do, if I can't find him, I'll dig up some of that corruption and just see how far it actually spreads. And then we'll come back during his office hours and let him know what's going on. Yeah. Sounds like a plan to me. Let's do it. Welcome back, everybody, and unfortunately, it seems as if our suspicions have been confirmed. The netherworm does seem to have left a trail of corruption leading from where we originally thought the source was over here, all the way over to the wormtail site, and when you really look for it, it's kinda hard to miss. I don't know how I missed it last episode. Then again, I don't think it ever glowed before, so that may be cause for concern. I don't know. The netherworm goes like all the way over here and all the way beneath our city of Luna to Wolfen's lab. So, if this is going the whole way there, that's, I'm gonna say potentially bad, right? Potentially bad. But it is pretty much all located in one straight line. It's not spread out or anything like that, so it should be pretty easy to eradicate. Anyway, we did our part. We unearthed the corruption. Now it's up to Wolfen's labs to handle it. So I'll go ahead and let Wolfred know, and you know what? Don't you guys even worry. Everything's going to be just fine. I'm sure everything will be just fine.
Come on, pick up, pick up, pick up!
Enchantress Moriga, is that you?
Yes! Revered Enchantress Arcana! Oh, it is so good to hear your voice again. I am in need of guidance.
Make it quick. The ascension of the old ones grows ever nearer, and we've no time to waste.
Okay, well, how would you like for me to kill the builder? I would prefer a slow and painful method, but given what he and the Grey Wolf's offspring are in the process of doing, I think a quicker, less satisfying method might be more appropriate.
What are you talking about?
Well, they're digging up the corruption, Your Reverence. The air grows thick with its stench.
Those fools! While we are trying to stave off one apocalypse, they are providing nourishment to another. Tell me, is the creature still dormant?
Oh, it sleeps, but I have heard it stir, Your Reverence.
Swish and flicker! Well, Watchdog and I will have no choice but to postpone our search for the Temple of Ascension. We will need to deal with the Destroyer.
Oh, I can do that! As I said, I would prefer a slow and painful method. But if you would like me to hasten his demise, I will kill him quickly, proudly sacrificing my own happiness for the sake of the world.
No, don't do anything. I will handle this personally.
Can I watch? Okay, bye, Revered Enchantress.
There, see, Wolfred said he's gonna handle it. He doesn't know how he's gonna handle it, but he said he's gonna handle it. So you know what? We're fine. Everything is just fine. And we can start moving on to what I wanted to move on to in this episode. So, let's talk about our bees. And first, before we talk about our bees, we need to talk about flowers. So, you might remember here a long time ago, we used to have some flower farms housed within these towers, but I've kind of replaced those with cacti. So we're no longer actively farming flowers over here at the garden center, which is kind of unfortunate. But if you do remember, a couple episodes back, we actually cleared out a little bit of space, and I told you this may or may not be an addition to the Luna Garden Center. And you know what? Surprise, surprise. It is actually going to be an addition to the Luna Garden Center. This area out here is going to be part of the Garden Center where we are going to build a new flower farm, where we'll be able to harvest flowers that I use most here in Luna, including these blue orchids right here for our light blue dye. And if we go into another biome that is not the swamp, maybe, nope, not right here. We should have access to another biome in this area that will give us some other flowers. Or maybe not. Maybe I didn't think this out thoroughly enough. Maybe this over here. That's kind of tucked away here. I don't like that though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what we I should have put more thought into this. Okay, well, first of all, something ridiculous. Dandelions. Everywhere dandelions. I was looking for places where we could put the new addition to the garden center, but as I threw bone meal down the ground to see where we could get a variety of flowers springing up, you'll notice all we've been getting are dandelions. And pretty much only dandelions, aside from over here on the complete opposite side of Luna, Over here in the outer districts, well, in this outer district, we get dandelions and lilies of the valley, but mostly just dandelions, right? Which is not really going to work for me. And I've been all over this place. I have flown the perimeter of Luna, and I was thinking, well, maybe if we get lucky, we can do something over here on the opposite side of the rotunda and just kind of, you know, have swamp flowers on one side and some variety here on the other. But if you notice, it's just dandelions over here too. So that's kind of annoying. It didn't used to be like this, but whatever, you know, I decided to look it up and see why we're only getting dandelions and occasionally lilies of the valley. And then I made a discovery. You see, things have changed since the last time I went flower farming here in Luna, because this did not used to be a thing. You did not used to be able to just bone meal any type of flower and get additional flowers that only work with double tall flowers. But here, if we were to bone meal any of these flowers, we just get a natural spread of those particular types of flowers, which I didn't know about. I'm sure some of you guys did, but I didn't know about this, and that is actually super convenient. I mean, as far as farming flowers go, that is super convenient. So that's going to allow us to just get whatever type of flower we actually want rather than relying on a bunch of randomness coming in, right? Now, keep in mind, we were trying to clean up Luna. That's what this is all about. And in the process of doing that, or figuring out how we're going to do that, I kind of made a big mess in various areas of Luna. So before we do anything else, let me go ahead and clean up. Oh my goodness. I just had to go and bone meal entire sections of this city. Wasn't satisfied to just drop a bone meal and be like, oh, dandelion's here, let's move on to somewhere else. No. I would bone meal the entire area. Why? Why would I do this to myself? Yeah, you better believe I'm only cleaning all this up because I made such a big deal about cleaning up Luna. If I hadn't have said that, oh boy, I would have just left all this. Left all this for future Lobo. Now, before we get started, it would be a good idea to make sure we have all the flowers that we're going to want to farm, right? Hello? All these wither skulls flying around over here. We're close to the wither battle arena. Yeah, so we're going to need some allium. I think that's pretty much the only other flower that we're really going to need here, though. Very fortunate that we can now farm this stuff without actually doing it in a flower forest. I like that. Now we're going to be growing our single tall flowers out here, and as far as which single tall flowers we're going to grow, we have these. How many are these? 10? These 10 right here. So we have oxeye daisies, azure bluettes, lilies of the valley, blue orchid, cornflower, allium, pink tulips, poppies, orange tulips, and dandelions. And as far as what dyes that gets us gray dye, light gray dye, white dye, light blue dye, magenta dye, I believe, pink dye, red dye, orange dye, and yellow dye, which sounds good. Now, we're not going to jump straight into the redstone because this is an area on the outside of Luna. This is going to be a very visible area, and I want to put a lot of consideration into how it looks. And I already know how I want it to look. It's just a matter of trying to figure out the layout of it, which is arguably more important than the actual farms that are going to be here, considering its location. So that's the first thing we're going to work on. Just getting the layout, not actually building up and making it look pretty, just trying to figure out what the layout of this place is going to be. So with that in mind, it makes sense to start with what we know we're going to want there, right? And one of those things that we're going to want is a walkway along the actual perimeter of Luna. Now, I think we're going to probably roll with something like this because I built this a long time ago and I haven't torn it down yet, so that must mean I'm okay with it. We'll have some stone walkways, we'll have a wooden inner wall and a wooden outer wall. Actually, I don't think we're going to build the outer section yet. Might want to beef that up a little bit in the future. And we don't need to because really I just want to get this in so we know how much room we have to build other stuff, right? So let's go ahead and handle that. so now we have a much better idea of what we're going to want the layout of this place to be. I got in a bunch of little individual flower beds. These are not going to be the flower farms. We'll talk about the farm in just a minute, but these are just going to be mostly for decoration and therefore not a part of this episode. But I do want to go ahead and mark out where they're going to be so that way we can make room for what we are going to be building in this episode. Because as I said, looks are going to be a very important part of this area, right? And I think that was a cow. Yep. This cow has been here forever. You guys have been pointing him out for at least months, right? Maybe... Oh, look away, cow. Yeah, look away. This is a terrible place for you. You know what? I should have gotten you down from here a long time ago. We're gonna handle that before we move on. Before I forget again. You know what? I think, yes, excellent. Right this way. I think we're gonna go ahead and bring you to freedom. We're not even going to put you in Luna. You don't want to be cramped up. You've been cramped up for far too long. Don't be scared. I know it's high up, but you've been high up for a long time now. I think you'd be used to it. Who wants a tasty treat? You want a tasty treat, don't you? Yeah, come right this way for a tasty treat. Please be careful. You're dancing around very recklessly where you should just be following me in a straight line. Come on. You can do it. And then right over here. No! Cow! Are you okay? You're fine. You're fine. You know what? You made it most of the way. Here's your tasty treat. All right, let's go ahead and get cleaned up, get back to work. You know, I think I want to get one more flower bed installed over here. I think one more on this far end should kind of help the look of this place a little bit because it kind of like fills in this area. And I do like that. I do like the overall spacing of everything. Of course, that does give us 11 flower beds total. And we are going to be housing 10 types of flowers out here. But I think that's fine because we're going to be using 10 of these 11 to actually display the flowers. And we're going to have one set aside for farming them. And actually, I think I might want to set the farming flower bed out just a little bit. First of all, so it's closer to the garden center, right? In case we need to farm flowers, we can just pop in right over here, farm our flowers, and be off on our way. But as far as looks go, I think that also helps the look of this a little bit more too. I'm liking that. Now, as far as how we're going to build the farm to farm these flowers, I didn't even know what kind of farm we were going to build up until just a little while ago, so I still have to come up with a plan. I'll be back with you guys once I do. Now, I really don't want this area to end up looking messy, so I'm going to insert this into the ground a little bit and try to hide the redstone as best we can. Basically, we're going to plant our flower on this grass block right here, have the dispenser bone meal it, and that will give us additional flowers on these upper grass blocks. And yes, the flowers will spread up here. This is where our actual floor is going to be, and then I think we're going to harvest with a shifting floor design, which should hopefully be pretty easy. So it would make sense to go ahead and get started with our item collection. We're just going to have a hopper minecart going around collecting all the flowers that we actually end up harvesting. And then we're going to have our shifting floor design, which is basically going to do our harvesting for us. You don't need to be running anymore. That was actually just for demonstration purposes. But let me go ahead and get our grass in here and get everything wired up. Like I said, pretty easy. All right, the redstone is in here roughly. We will tune it, but everything does seem to be doing what we want it to do. The dispenser's firing, the floor is shifting. Let me show you guys around. So we got our on switch right here. That's sending a signal out through this way over here to a redstone clock, which is sending signals to this first set of pistons. And then a little while later, it'll send a signal to this next set of pistons. So we have them kind of alternating. And then from there, the signal is also going over between these set of pistons into the dispenser, which will be firing our bone meal. So let's go ahead and try this thing out, and then we'll see if we can speed it up a little bit. So we plant our flower right in here, whatever flower we want to harvest, and there we go. Excellent. So let's go ahead and see if we can speed this up. Let's take a little bit of delay off of this clock right here. Yeah, that's nice. You know, the next step would have been item collection, but I actually don't think we need it. Like, I was just thinking, this is already convenient enough. We just come in here, we flip the switch, we let this run for a little bit, and let's say we need a stack of flowers. That should be more than enough time to get us a stack of flowers. Yeah, I mean, we just pop right in here, we can just walk around, collect what we want to collect, and then get out, right? I think the item collection that I was planning on putting down here, that I already started putting down there, is actually unnecessary. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just simplify this a little bit. Kind of take that out, clean up my redstone, and we should be good. So there we go. Same idea as before, with a lot less nonsense. So here we go. We just plant whatever flower we want more of, and that gives us more of that flower. I mean, too easy, right? Too easy. And this will work with whatever flower we want to put in here, not just the blue orchids. Pretty much any flower should do the same thing. But then again, we haven't really figured out where we're going to put all these flowers once we get them, have we? Yeah, I need to figure that out next. So my first thought was something like this, something with the chests along the side here, that way we can easily store the flowers that we've just gotten, and we can easily access other flowers to plant, for instance these red tulips, which we only have one of. Let's go ahead and make some more of these, right? I think this will be very convenient. The problem is, it actually doesn't offer a whole lot. I'm sorry about that, Piggy. I didn't mean to jostle you. The problem with this is it doesn't offer a whole lot of storage space, and I'm just not a huge fan of the look. So maybe something like this would work a little bit better for me. Just a big old shelving unit with room for 9 double chests in it. That way we can easily pop into here from the garden center, grab what we need to get, and then we're gone, right? Unless we need to actually harvest some flowers, in which case we'll just stop over here and harvest some flowers real quick. But everything's very convenient. Now, as far as these other flower beds go, these are not going to be for getting more flowers. These are actually going to be used for getting more honey. So let's go ahead and make room and just kind of figure out where we're going to place additional shelving units over here. Like, I was originally planning on using these flower beds to make our honey and honeycomb farms, but after some consideration and realizing I'm not going to be able to hide the redstone as well as I would really want to, I think it might be a better decision to go ahead and just place our honey and honeycomb farms against this back wall, hidden within shelving units like the one we built for our flower storage over here. Now, first things first, before we can begin farming our honey, we're going to need to farm some honey. Hopefully this will be the last time we have to do this manually. This could actually be a really good opportunity for us. It seems like the bees have all gone into their nest due to the rain, which means this could be a great opportunity for us to actually take down these nests and get them relocated without being swarmed, you know? You going home? Yes. Yes, you're going home, aren't you? Perfect, perfect. Okay. All right. So hopefully we can do this. Let's go ahead and give this a shot. Excellent, excellent. All right, let me go ahead and collect these and get them moved over to their future home. Buzz? No buzz, we're fine. We're fine. All right, let's go ahead and see if this is going to work for us. Let's go ahead and plant one of our bee nests up here. The bees come out, great. They go straight for the flowers, which is awesome. You know what? That's just not going to do. That's not enough flowers, is it? You guys need more flowers than that. Let's go ahead and get them some pink tulips. They like pink tulips. I hear bees like pink tulips. So we'll go ahead and put these down here just like this. Make sure you guys get all the pollen you need. And you should be able to take that on back to your nest. Speaking of, I built out one side of this nest, one side of this farm, so I can hopefully explain to you guys how I at least intend for it to work. Yeah, we'll see whether or not it actually functions the way I want it to or not. But basically what we have here are some separate systems. We have an item filter right here. Basically, this is to make sure we only get honey bottles going into our storage system. So as you can see, there is nothing in this hopper because these are locked with honey bottles inside of them, meaning nothing but honey bottles or stone bricks will get passed from this dispenser down in there. So these glass bottles stay where they are. But once they dispense glass bottles and get honey, then the honey bottles should make their way down into these chests right here. Now, how we're going to get these dispensers to dispense bottles to get honey, we're going to take a comparator signal from the bee nest, and when it's full, it's going to give off a comparator signal of 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a total Beelocation. Move in place a bee nest with 3 bees inside using Silk Touch. Hey, we did that. But that's going to light up this redstone lamp, which is going to, in turn, send a signal to the observer, which is going to send a signal to the dispenser, dispensing a glass bottle to get a honey bottle. And that honey bottle will be sucked down from the dispenser into the chest, giving us honey. You know, theoretically. Now, while we're waiting for the bees to do their part and fill up that nest, I decided to build this out a little bit, kind of keeping with the same design as our shelving unit right here, just to make sure everything stays at least somewhat cohesive. It seems as if the bees are steadily bringing their pollen into there. How much further do we have to go? So currently we're sitting at a signal length of 3. That's fine. We can wait a little bit longer. Hey, there we go. There we go. Okay, excellent. All right, so we saw that get filled up. That means, and they're filling it up again. Perfect. That means that there should be more honey in this hopper than we had before, right? So right now, we got 4 in there. Excellent. I think that was 3 before. Good. We're getting honey. All right, so I think we're going to roll with it. I think we're going to roll with that. This is what's basically going to look like. Maybe we could even add a few more shelves in here just to keep it a little bit more cohesive with our shelving unit, right? We can put up row shelves right here. Maybe another one like right here at the top of the chest. Kind of hide that back area. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, you know what? I think we are going to roll with that. We are going to roll with that. So we got a bunch more of these bee nests to build. As I said, we'll work on the grounds in a later episode. Right now, we just want to get the nests built, right? The farms built. So at this point, let's go ahead and call Didi on over here. Put on a little bit of music and get to work. Welcome back, everybody. Our emergency Beelocation is now complete. We got some honey farms in here. We've got honeycomb farms now in here. There are still some kinks to work out, and I'm probably going to do that in between episodes, like, for instance, occasional double dispensers where we get glass bottles coming out through the honeycomb farms. Probably due to the observers. I'll have a peek at that in between episodes, as I said. But as you can see, we are getting some honey coming in through here, which is great. No more manual harvesting for me. These trapdoors actually should be down. These ones right here should be gone. We can't do the shelves. The bees get stuck under the shelves. So, yeah. It's a balancing act, man. That form versus function balancing act. Speaking of, the bees will also get stuck under these slabs that were kind of overhanging this, so we're probably going to have to keep those gone. It's fine, though. You know, we'll work through it. We'll figure out what we need to do here. Now, further on down the line, we transition from our honey farms to our honeycomb farms. We got 8 total nests contributing to our honeycomb supply right here, which is, it's producing. It's producing. So this is also going to be very good. You saw the redstone for the honey farms. I still need to change it up a little bit, but you saw the redstone. But you can see the redstone for the honeycomb farms as well. We just got another piece of honeycomb, it looks like. Basically just taking an observer signal from the bee nest and sending it up through and using that to harvest with shears. And that should have added new honeycomb in here, but it ended up on the roof instead. That's fine. That's fine. It's another one of those kinks I need to work out. It does occasionally end up on the roof. So while I'm thinking about how we're going to fix that, let me go ahead and make sure we got all our bees out from our wall. Because, yeah, having this area open while we were working, a lot of these guys decided that they wanted to hang out in there rather than where they were supposed to be. So, yeah, I'll be back with you guys in a little bit. hopefully with some answers. Alright, so I got all the bees I could find relocated. I have this feeling, though, that I'm going to be finding bees in the walls for a long time to come. That's fine, though. That's fine, because now we got this area cleaned up. We can, I was going to say enjoy the view, but that probably isn't going to be an option with this trail of corruption here. I'm sure it's fine.
Hurry, watchdog. If I can smell the stench of the corruption even here, we've no time to waste. Oh my word. That's you.
Alright, I think I know how we're going to handle our honeycomb problem. So what I think is basically happening is that once the shears are dispensed and the honeycomb gets released, the honeycomb just makes its way into a block and then gets elevated upwards, right? But if we were to put half slabs right here, I think that should get rid of the elevating mechanism that was happening before, and the honeycomb should just fall down into the hoppers and be collected, right? Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully that's what's going to happen. We will see, though. We will see. I'll keep an eye on it. As I said, there's still some kinks to work out. I still have some kinks I'm going to try to work out in between episodes. I would love to get them worked out in this episode and get this out to you guys with completed projects instead of, you know, some stuff that still needs to be worked on. But if I do want to get this episode out to you guys on time, I think we're probably going to have to call it here. I mean, this is good, though. This is a good start, at least, and we will be coming back to this. But that is where we're going to have to call it for today, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please be sure to hit that little thumbs up button. That would mean a whole lot to me. And if you want to see more, please remember to subscribe. But as always, I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I deeply appreciate it. And until next time, I am Lobo, and I will see you guys later.